Always Best Care is a great place to work.
Flexibility,
leadership,
purpose,
great benefits.
There's never a dull moment.
diversity,
inclusion,
compasión.
We love our jobs. If you're looking for a great place to work, you can join our compassionate Team Green. You can apply online at teamgreenabc.com or call 267-909-9248.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Did you know he'll help you understand? Did you know always a right-hand man? Did you know he's gonna make it clear? Did you know? Come on, listen here. Did you know?
Hello, and welcome to the Did You Know Show. My name is Bryant Green, and today's show is sponsored by Always Best Care Senior Services. We provide in-home care primarily to seniors, but if you're somebody that has had a hip or knee replacement, a back injury, think about Always Best Care first. Today, it is my pleasure to bring you to my home, Broad and Federal, home of Always Best Care 24/7. This is the call center and where human resources and a lot of the operations work out of. And today on Juneteenth, we are having our first annual crab feast. We're giving crabs out to all of our caregivers and back office employees, and we're just having a good time with it. That's why I'm dressed in an apron. But I'm going to introduce to you some of the intricate people of the back office team that really help us during this really tough time, pandemic. We have a lot of things going on with social, unrest and peaceful protests and that kind of thing. We're in Philadelphia, down in South Philadelphia, and I want to introduce to you my first two guests today. We have with us our Director of Operations, Chris Austin, my Chief Operating Officer, Renee Dudley. And so, Chris, let's start with you. Chris is our Director of Operations. You are responsible for human resources, payroll, and customer service. How has it been running an office during the pandemic? What have been some of your challenges? What have been some of the funny moments, if any? What has been, some of the things that you are facing in your departments?
The biggest challenge is because of the pandemic. Let's start with the care for our clients. A lot of people don't want to go out into the elements.
Right.
So sometimes it's hard for us to, it takes a little longer to find someone to go out if someone calls out. It takes sometimes a little longer to find a replacement.
Right.
And then also some of the office staff have been out because of different family issues. So staffing is a little up and down, but we've made it work. I mean, we've had people that have been out, because of this, but we had to make it work.
And so I'm going to turn the conversation to Renee Dudley, my second in command, my ever-capable superwoman. Renee is an RN for several years, and she's been with us just about a year, and she is responsible for the overall day-to-day operation as well as skill care. And so Renee came up with the ingenious idea, as many companies are doing right now. We have half of the staff working in the office and the other half of the staff, due to technology, working from home. But the thought process, and as Renee explained it to me, and sometimes you got to know when to follow, when to lead, when to follow, that if people get sick in the office, then we can switch them out with the people that are working from home. So I bring to you, without further ado, my second in command, Mrs. Renee Dudley. Renee, please tell the people what we've been doing, what we've been going through, what you've been following up with CDC, PHA, what has been some of the overall arching challenges, questions?
I think one of the things that we did, we jumped right on once it started in mid-March, and got right on board working with the CDC,
right,
with the Department of Health, with some of the organizations, Pennsylvania Home Care Association, daily updates constantly on Zoom meetings, on webinars. And our biggest focus, of course, was our clients and our caregivers,
right,
the people out in the field. Our back office, again, you did mention that we did switch some people out, have some people work at home. I think that was something that was really beneficial to us. And just keeping our staff up to date. We were honest right from the beginning. This is what's going on. We're here to support you. We're all in this together, and we're going to, get through it. A lot of people were frightened, as Chris said. They didn't know, people are at home, they have no childcare. Okay, so we have people that had to be home because of childcare, taking care of other family members. And I think, I think we took it a day at a time. And I think that was beneficial to us. We had difficulty getting PPE for our clients.
As everybody did,
And
we
our
had very,
caregivers.
very hard time getting PPE. In fact, I'm going to reach down. Me, you, and Chris, for the listening audience that are watching and judging us because we're not wearing our
We do
masks.
have our masks.
We do have our masks. We just took them off for the interview.
So the PPE is personal protective equipment that was required by CDC, and things change day to day on that as well. Remember, first, you don't have to wear masks.
Right.
And then you have to wear masks. So that was challenging. And then getting the equipment for our staff, okay?
And maintaining it.
And maintaining it. I mean, Brian's been running all over and making calls, and we want to give a little shout out to the Philadelphia Department of Health for supplying us with masks for our staff and our clients. So, that was a challenge all across the board. Home care, I think, was challenged because a lot of the equipment was going to the hospitals where they really needed them, and we were fighting to get the things that we needed for our staff.
I need to jump in. A lot of times now on TV, you hear obviously the hospitals and the health systems has been challenged, but then you also now are starting to hear more and more about the nursing homes. What you hardly ever hear about is the home care providers, the people that are actually out in the home and community base serving the population, whether on a skilled care or a non-skilled need. And, Renee's being modest. These two right here should have capes. And so we really have been working overtime. We haven't stopped working. The whole pandemic, if anything, we've been working more. This office right here, and throughout the course of the show, my plan is to also take you to my Delaware offices as well. But, we have still maintained our census. Some people have asked to be put on hold. Mm-hmm. Some people have resisted getting care. And then we still have the people that really do need care, that cannot live without care. And I just, I'm going to say it throughout the show, I am so appreciative of the staff for, back office as well as the field staff for really being mature about it. And Renee said it really the best, being honest. Being honest. We're some of the room in the back room, this is an active office. We're live on location. We're live here on location in our Broad Street office. This office is open 24/7. And again, these two right here, they are the ones that really marshal and deliver leadership. So what would you tell the listening audience in terms of people that are either thinking about getting home care or currently getting home care and are really weary of it? I mean, you passed out a list of things, and you've held us. Renee is like our nurse police. She's our nurse police. This is probably the closest that we've been during the pandemic, truthfully. But really dotting our I's and crossing our T's with regards to PPE and other things. Renee, what are we really doing on a day-to-day to make sure that we're really ensuring the safety of folks?
So what we're doing, actually, we're keeping in very close contact with our direct care workers. We have phone blasts out to them weekly. We are sending them emails out constantly. We're sending them education, how to put on your PPE equipment, how to take it off, sending them all the latest updates on what the recommendations are. We're letting them know we have stuff here. We have bags here for them. Come and pick them up, whatever you need. We're here to support you. We're getting them, we sometimes provide transportation for them to even get to where they need to be. A lot of the public transportation is stopped. Buses are, they're starting to come back now, but the buses were on hold. SEPTA was on hold, and we rely a lot on that in the city. So, we've been using Uber. We've been getting rides for them, giving rides ourselves.
We bought a van.
We bought a van to take the caregivers to where they need to be. We're also giving them equipment for their clients because a lot of the clients don't have the PPE that they need too. So we're making sure that they can bring a mask to their client, teaching them, protocol on when you need to, how far you need to be. The same thing everyone's hearing on TV, 6 to 10 feet, we actually do surveys all the time. They have to survey themselves every day before they go into a client's home. They need to have their temperature, know their temperature.
And we have
check their
provided
temperature.
thermometers.
We have bought thousands of thermometers, so everyone has it. And then they're reading, they know the questions by heart. Do you have a cough? Have you had a fever? Do you have, and so they, in their mind, if they have any of these, answer yes to any of these, they call and notify the office. And Chris and I will sometimes talk. Every situation is a little bit different.
Right.
So it's not like everybody who calls and says they have a cough, we're going to send them home.
Right.
So, we do go a little bit deeper. Sometimes Chris will call me and we'll speak with the caregiver and we'll kind of get a better feel. It's allergy season now.
Right.
Everyone's coughing. Everyone's
Right.
sneezing. So,
And I backed up off of Chris, because when Chris started coughing, I was
Chris has allergies.
It's allergies.
So we have been, there for them. That's the biggest thing. We want to let them know that we are there to support them, as well as our clients. A lot of the clients, again, maybe didn't want someone in their home, but we reassured them too. And our call center back here, they call, check up on the clients daily. There's a list they constantly run through. How are you? Are you okay? Are you happy with your services? Do you need anything else? I think that we went above and beyond of what we had to do, and I think that made the difference.
I think with communication. What you going to say, Chris?
No, I was just going to say, with the daily calls between the caregivers and the clients, I think, that helped the whole process, because a lot of the clients feel more comfortable now than they did in the beginning, because we're calling, checking on them, and making sure they're okay, as Marie said.
All right. Well, we're going to take time right now, take a time out, and we're going to come back. I'm going to introduce you to some other members of the team in customer service, training, and human resources. Stay tuned.
Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is an approved Community Health Choices provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services, doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. My name is Brian Green. I'm sitting down here in the lovely South Philadelphia, Broad Federal, our location that is open 24/7. We are the home care agency that never sleeps. I'm sitting here now with my baby brother and my baby cousin, who it takes a village and a family. My brother Alan is the customer service manager, and my cousin Ted is the customer service lead. And together, they work together to really communicate a lot of the scheduling, the new case setup, sometimes the training, sometimes the fill-ins, sometimes the emergency situations that happen in the home. They lead a team of customer service reps who are on the phone 24/7 dealing with the issues. And I just want to stop talking now and just, again, remind our viewers that we are practicing normally social distancing, but because of the show, I decided we're going to hold our masks in our hands. So we have our masks. I just want to go to it. So starting with you, Alan, tell us how it has been providing care, or at least in the customer service department, what has been going on day to day?
For the most part, a lot of our caregivers have been going to our clients through the pandemic era. It has been some challenges at times because of the fear of attracting the COVID-19. For my team, they work day in and day out trying to make sure that all of our clients get the care that is needed. A lot of clients has been understanding with that in these difficult times, but it has been challenging, but at the most part, the caregivers are fighting through it and going to the clients as they should.
Ted, you're talking to caregivers. Sometimes your task is really doing fill-ins, because you still have caregivers that are requesting vacation. Sometimes caregivers have daycare issues. Sometimes they have issues. Sometimes caregivers themselves feel, they call in and say, well, maybe I'm not feeling well and I need to go get tested or whatever. What are you seeing day to day?
Well, to be honest, each day is typically, with all the variables, and the last few months have been very challenging, so to speak. We have been able to continue on with our routine, but some of the things that you've spoken on, child care, health scare, illness, transportation, all of these things. So each day we deal with all of these things on top of the normal routine of challenges of scheduling. So,
Oh, come on, what's normal around this place?
but we have been able to, keep trekking forward, and I'm starting to see some form of normalcy, returning. So things are trending upwards. But yes, it's been very challenging. But with our team and dedicated, professional direct care workers, we have been able to keep on trucking. So we're good.
And so now with customer service, one of the things you guys have been challenged with too. Our mass transit system in Philadelphia has on some just recently started to resume some of its normal schedule, but because of their safety, because they're frontline workers as well, they have amended their schedules, and that's created some challenges. You guys have really worked in Uber, and not to give Uber a shout out, but I mean we're doing what it takes to really get our caregivers to work. What do you guys say? What are some of the questions that people are asking? What are some of the caregivers besides the raise? And we have given some raises, but what are some of the other issues that you guys have seen, if any?
Just the care for the clients. Questions as far as the living situations.
Okay.
Some clients are not in always a good situation as far as living arrangements. That's their concern. When they bring that to us, we reach out to their case managers and things of that nature. Another thing is transportation at times and getting to the client, especially on time, because of at the time SEPTA had changed their scheduling, so we were getting Ubers to a good handful of home health aides, CNAs.
What kind of incentives have we been given, if anything? Have we been given any incentives? I should know, but I'm going to let you guys tell it.
Definitely. We've been doing bonuses, ranging from different variables as far as the bonuses is concerned. To get the aides out there, we've done, as we're doing today, the crab feast. We've done acknowledgement. We've in the past given out awards to the aides that has gone above and beyond the call of duty, as my brother would say. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the things.
Well, thank you, Ted and Alan, for continuing to do what you are doing. You guys are heroes, and both of them are really being modest. They see so much, and I don't want to oversimplify it, but they are on the phone. They are the pulse and the beat and the vertebrae in a lot of ways of our operation, because they are the frontline employees from a back office perspective. When something goes awry, or if somebody wants to give a compliment, or somebody has an issue, these are the guys that they talk to first. When you ask for a supervisor or a manager, this is who you're going to talk to. All right, we're going to take another break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk to some people from Human Resources and Caregiver Training. Stay tuned.
Did you know?
Always Best Care is a great place to work.
Flexibility.
Leadership. Purpose.
Great benefits.
There's never a dull moment.
Diversity. Inclusion. Compasión.
We love our jobs. If you're looking for a great place to work, you can join our compassionate Team Green. You can apply online at teamgreenabc.com or call 267-909-9248.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Did you know?
Well, welcome back to the Did You Know Show. My name is Brian Green, and today's show is sponsored by Always Best Care Senior Services. I want to remind our listeners that you can catch us on WURDradio.com on Saturdays at 4 p.m. I'm sitting here now with my lovely co-host on my radio show and also a human resource generalist at Always Best Care, Maggie. And then we have our direct care supervisor, Dolores Turlington, who has kind of matriculated. Dolores has been with me almost 10 years, I guess. She started off as a caregiver and has gone through a lot of chairs, and now is our direct caregiver supervisor and trainer. And so between the two of them, from a human resources perspective and also a caregiver training perspective, you guys have been really out there on the front lines. And I want to give you kind of the air, if you don't, and what we've been doing at the beginning of interviews too, so people don't judge us. We hold up our masks. This is the closest that we've been. We're not joking about it. We do have our masks. We only took our mask off to really take the interview. And so, with social distancing and with all that's going on with the pandemic, the peaceful, mostly protests, the amended, what's going on with mass transit. Maggie, what are you seeing? Well, Maggie, first of all, is my co-host. But what are you seeing from a human resource perspective? Are there any challenges you want to talk about or anything that's going on?
I think the biggest thing, one thing I do want to say, something that I've learned throughout everything that's been going on the last few months is the need for compassion to our direct care workers and to understand how difficult it is being out there, going out to our clients, and how they're the real heroes. They're out there on the front lines. They're the ones trying to catch SEPTA when the buses are rerouted. They're the ones that are out there trying to get into clients' homes in areas that were recently, there were, some non-peaceful protests.
Right.
So, honestly, compassion and understanding is
right.
probably the biggest things I've learned thus far during this.
Okay. Dolores, you're out here. You're a caregiver trainer. Yeah. So, first of all, you lead a lot of times our new hire orientation and our in-services. Yeah. We're required to do in-service training, whether it's fall prevention or infectious control. We've gotten really creative. We have social distancing in our conference room, but what have you seen from your perspective?
A lot of our caregivers, we've just been making sure that they have their personal protective equipment, their gloves, hand sanitizer. If they need the gowns for their clients, making sure, like Maggie said, that even though we're showing, for us to show them compassion, but making sure that during this time with their worries, their anxieties, that they are showing the clients compassion and going out and still taking care and doing what they have to do for themselves and for the clients to protect themselves.
Wow. And so, from a caregiver perspective, I see my role as a leader to kind of continually just provide motivation and engagement of what's going on and stay focused. And people always ask, how are we faring through this pandemic? We never stop working. Mm-hmm. And I'm very proud of the team that we've put together, because the team, whether they're working the back office or out, as Maggie said, in the front lines, mostly they've been showing up. Mm-hmm. And they've been showing up, amidst of all the other external challenges to their day-to-day job. When you think about frontline workers, of course you think about people that work in the supermarket or your mass transit, drivers, or your post office, those kind of folks. But you've heard on TV, of course, a lot about the pandemic and the statistics and that kind of a thing. And you're starting to hear more about the health systems and more and more about nursing homes. But what you very rarely hear about is home care.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have been released from or discharged from the hospital back into the community, whether they have COVID or not. And so what have we said to folks to keep them motivated? Maggie, are you still seeing a lot of people applying for jobs and that kind of thing?
Absolutely, because there are good people out there with kind hearts who this is their passion, and they want to go out and they want to help these people because they know they need the help. And that's something that I like to remind our direct care workers of often, is that for some people, you're their light. You're their break into the outside world, and you're the one that's helping them keep it together. So you're helping one another.
All right, Dolores, what do you got to add?
Maggie, I couldn't have said it better myself. We're standing with them, we're working with them, we're here for them, and we're understanding. And they're going out to the clients' homes. They're helping them, and they're helping the clients get through this tough time, just like we're helping the caregivers get through this tough time. So it's trickle down effect for all of us.
All right. Well, next we're going to bring up some caregivers, and we're going to talk to some folks that are providing direct care directly into the home. Stay tuned. We're enjoying our Juneteenth first annual crab feast. Well, in this pandemic, crabs to go. So we're going to come back on the other side. We're going to talk to some actual caregivers. Stay tuned.
Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is an approved Community Health Choices provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services, doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. My name is Brian Green. I'm sitting here in Philadelphia at our largest office for Always Best Care. I might want to mention that we have 5 locations. We have 3 in Pennsylvania and 2 in Delaware. Shout out to my Delawareans. We have an office in Wilmington as well as in Milton, which is down in Sussex County. We'll be visiting them too on this episode. But today we're down in South Philadelphia at our first annual Juneteenth Crab Feast, and in these pandemic times, crabs to go. And as promised, I have 2 of my best caregivers ready to tell us what they're doing out in the field. Now, again, you have heard on the news over and over again about how the hospital employees have been out there and they've been really doing their best to keep up with the pandemic. And now you're starting to hear more and more about the nursing homes. But what you very rarely, and you've heard me say it throughout the program, you very rarely hear about the home care providers, the direct care workers that are actually going in the home to provide care. With me, I have Latrell and Monique. Ladies, welcome to the show, first of all. You're debuting on the Did You Know Show.
Yes.
Latrell, let's start with you. How has providing care been during the pandemic? What have you been seeing?
Okay, what I've seen is just preparing myself to wash my hands, wear the protective gear, which was provided to me through Always Best Care.
Okay.
And just letting the client know that I'm using all safety precautions inside the home.
Are they glad to see you when you get there?
Of course, every day.
You know, because I'm glad that you guys are going to work, because that was a fear. You know, you have a lot of people sitting home, sitting this one out, if you will, and really not going. But you guys, we haven't had a break. You know, these caregivers have continually, and I say it over and over again, of course they work for me, of course they're part of Team Green, but caregivers everywhere have continued to go to work. Monique, how has it been for you? How's it been for you? And we'll give a special shout out to Monique, because about a month ago, Monique was nice enough for a couple of days to take a patient that was released back into the community that had tested positive for COVID. And she did not hesitate with her PPE to go over there and service them as a fill-in for a couple of days. All right, Monique, we're going to turn it over to you. But before I get to you, you know, you fall up in here with the cowboy situation on. I'm going to let you live, because you're out here providing good care. But pull the mask down and tell us, how has it been providing care out there? What have you seen?
I see a lot of fear. I see a lot of people wondering if they're going to get through. They're really scared. I go out there, you know, I just reassure them that everything will be okay. We're providing the best care that we can with our protective gear. And also, you know, continue letting them know that we're washing our hands. We're trying to make them safe and make sure that they're just safer in their home while we provide the, you know, the necessary care to make sure that they're okay. And they will, I don't know, it's just a lot of fear.
For either one of you, you can answer it individually. Have you seen, you know, are you the only outlet? In other words, is there family, for either one of your clients that you have, you don't have to give the name because of HIPAA. But in your different situations, is it just you as a caregiver, or are they being supported by their family?
Mine, she has her family as well. She has her husband and she has a daughter.
Okay.
That's in the household as well. They come and, you know, check on her to make sure that we're doing okay, make sure she's doing okay, and everybody is safe in the home.
All right. What about you, Latrell?
Well, it's me and my sister. She also works for the company.
Okay.
Where we help reassure our client that we're here in any necessary way to help him along with his doctor's appointments that's over the phone, maybe taking the blood pressure.
Does he have any family that's coming in?
He has a brother that comes and helps him out
a
lot, in and out with the necessary stuff, like maybe getting supplies from the supermarket, the water, paper goods, you know, toilet paper, the bulk.
Okay.
So it won't be kind of like a weekly thing. We buy at least for the month.
What do you guys find fulfilling? And talk to the listening audience. What do you guys find fulfilling in caregiving? I am enamored about caregivers, especially during this time, because you guys have remained steady. But when I think about caregivers, I have my own opinions. But what drives you into providing care? What do you like about it the most, I guess is what I'm asking?
Well, being as though I've been in the medical field after high school, doing numerous things, I think that I always had a part of helping people.
Okay.
And what I get out of it is satisfying. Once I leave the home and know I did everything I can possibly do for that client and more.
It is a gratifying
And
situation.
sometimes we go above and beyond, and that's what makes me happy.
Okay.
So it keeps me going.
Right on.
Yeah.
Monique, what about you? What do you find joy in caregiving?
It's the person, the clients themselves. Like I as well started young, and I went to school for CNA at 16 and was licensed by 17. So while I was growing up, while I was growing up, there were, I don't know, the neighborhood I grew in was like, it was just a mess. So when I grew up, or while I was growing up, I was saying that when I grew up, I wanted to help the people. I wanted to be a more person to be out there to help everybody. So I'm a people's person. So I like to make sure that everybody's good and everybody has the help that they need, or that somebody has someone to lean on, whether their family is not, if their family is not there, if it's me, if it's a friend, or if it's anybody. So for me, it's more so the satisfaction of another person or being able just to help somebody.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming on and making your debut on the Did You Know show.
Yes. We out here.
I appreciate everything.
Federal, come on down.
I appreciate everything you guys do, you ladies do. Thank you so much for being a part of Team Green, and thank you for providing excellent care, even though you got the Cowboys mask on. We're gonna let that. We're gonna let, and my cameraman has his Eagles hat on, but you can't see him. He had to put his Eagles hat on.
We don't need to see him.
We'll see what the football season is gonna bring during this pandemic.
Yes, y'all gonna catch that L again.
Oh gosh. Okay. Stay tuned for the conclusion of the show. We'll be right back. Thank you, ladies. Thank you.
Did you know?
Always Best Care is a great place to work.
Flexibility.
Leadership. Purpose.
Great benefits.
There's never a dull moment.
Diversity. Inclusion. Compasión.
We love our jobs. If you're looking for a great place to work, you can join our compassionate Team Green. You can apply online at teamgreenabc.com or call 267-909-9248.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know show. We have moved the show down to my Wilmington office on the sunny side of 1905 Market Street. And we're now down here with our Delawareans, and we're having a great time. We've continued the crab feast down here. For those that are just tuning in, we are celebrating our caregivers and in some cases our clients, who are our frontline heroes. They continue to provide excellent service during the pandemic. And with me right now, I have my lovely caregiver, Ms. Gladys, and the wife of her client, Mrs. Parker. And we're going to talk for a few minutes, ladies. And first, before we go on, I want to show everybody I have a mask. I just took it off. And they have their mask. You can see their mask. I just want to talk to you and let's ask you, how has it been providing and receiving care during the pandemic? Gladys, we'll start with you. How has it been?
I just leave it in the Lord's hand. I just keep on walking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just be patient with it. You know what I'm saying? Just have faith.
Have faith. Mrs. Parker, your husband receives care. How has it been?
It has been a truly rewarding experience. My husband, who we've been married 53 years.
Oh, wow.
And for 49 years of that time, my husband was a virile man who enjoyed life to the fullest, a construction worker, and he had 3 strokes, which debilitated him, and he lost his eyesight. So for him, it has truly been a devastating thing, but together, we've come to the conclusion that God makes no mistakes, so therefore, he is in this with the hand of God. But I've been blessed, truly, truly blessed to meet individuals who have taken me through this phase of life that had not, I'd probably be sitting in some mental institution trying to figure out what happened. But but God has been good to put people in my life that have just been a guiding influence and have made it as rewarding as it could be in this capacity. And I praise and thank him. And I thank all of you.
Oh, thank you. And so you came down here because we're hosting. We started in Philadelphia on Friday, and here we are on Monday. We're continuing our outreach to our caregivers. So you came in to support the caregiver, which I said, y'all gotta come get on TV with me real quick and talk about it, because it is so important. We establish relationships. People, on the news, you hear a lot about hospitals. You hear, you're starting to hear about nursing homes, but very rarely do you hear about home care.
Right.
Providing home where there is, it is very little social distancing, if any at all, and care has to continue. And when you get an aide that is, exceptional, I can just tell that just talking to you guys, I gotta share that energy. Because I want to encourage all of the caregivers, whether you work for Always Best Care or not. I want to, particularly I'm biased because of Always Best Care, but all the caregivers that have had to continue to do it. And we were talking offline, and I'm gonna put Ms. Parker out there. She likes to travel. She shared that she has a traveling group. What's your traveling group's name?
Let's Go Travelers.
And, and she's funny because she said this is the longest time, like a lot of people out there, this is the longest time she's been without traveling. So, you're home, but now, you need an extra pair of hands. And so we're glad to provide the care. We're glad that you are happy with the care. And we're glad that you're here to support the caregivers, because this is about you guys. I thought, you see a lot of companies doing different things. We're putting the signs up and that kind of a deal. And I just wanted to, do what I think a lot of people like, crabs.
Right.
So, I got some number ones.
It was good.
You're good. So I want you to enjoy them. So do you have any parting messages with the people that are listening out there that are finding their way? Some people that are scared to get care because they're scared to let people into their home. You guys have obviously had a long relationship with Gladys. But if you could just give some uplifting advice before you go. From a caregiver perspective and then from a client perspective. Will you give some uplifting advice to people?
If you got a heart, you know what I'm saying, right? And, you see, I don't like people being in the rest home.
Okay.
Because to me, I lost my father in the rest home. So to me, forehead is better than two.
Okay.
So if you got a heart, help some of the old folks out that can't help themselves.
Okay.
It's like, it's like we show care, that we love them too.
All right. Mrs. Parker?
For me, I've had the experience of having my husband in several nursing homes, and I have nothing against it, except it's as hard for me having them in a nursing home and getting up and going out. And then half the time I would spend most of my time there because I wanted to make sure he was getting the help that he wanted. And if he was difficult for them, I didn't want them, or they were having a difficult day, I didn't want them taking it out on him. So for us, keeping him home, to me, was a much better road for us, because that way the children could come and see him, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and he still have a intricate part of our life. Whereas in the nursing home, it was difficult for them to get there because they're working during the day or they're, what have you. So sometimes even for just a meal from mom, they'll come over and see him to make sure
he all right.
But it just, for me, I just didn't see him laying in a nursing home and knowing that I could give him a better quality of life for the time that I can.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much for participating in it. All right, stay tuned as we continue our conversation with some back office administrators. Stay tuned.
Did you know?
Always Best Care is a great place to work.
Flexibility.
Leadership. Purpose.
Great benefits.
There's never a dull moment.
Diversity. Inclusion. Compasión.
We love our jobs. If you're looking for a great place to work, you can join our compassionate Team Green. You can apply online at teamgreenabc.com or call 267-909-9248.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. Today's show is sponsored by Always Best Care Senior Services. We provide in-home care primarily to seniors. I am down at my Wilmington office today, and I have with me two very capable back office folks. We have Mr. Gerald Mack, who is our senior HR manager, and we have John Higgins, who is our customer service rep extraordinaire. And between the two of them, they field and take a lot of calls. And I just wanted to kind of ask you, gentlemen, John, we'll start with you. And then I gave them permission. We took our masks down. I just want everybody out in TV land to see that we are still social distancing and we are practicing, safe and really credible care. And these gentlemen work in the back office. And so, John, I'll start with you. How has it been providing schedulings and fill-ins and all the kind of things that you do with customer service during the pandemic?
It's definitely been interesting. My job is essentially the same, just with a new dynamic thrown into it.
Okay.
So now I have to ensure that everyone's being safe, everyone's practicing the correct protocols in terms of social distancing.
Right.
Everyone's wearing their masks, wearing gloves, and making sure that the clients are comfortable with who's coming into their home.
Because I'm pretty sure that's been a question.
It sure has.
It has been a question, what our protocol is and what the caregiver protocol. But, right before you joined, we had some caregivers, both from the Philadelphia area. Now we had a caregiver and a client's wife coming in and sharing and really just appreciative of the situation. Do you ever find yourself just talking about current events with clients just to keep them calm and to keep them safe and that kind of a deal?
Yes, actually. We had, I guess it was maybe a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I was on the phone with a client for about maybe 20 minutes. She was just telling me everything she's heard in the news about the virus and how it's affecting the world. And I think she was more or less just throwing out, I want to say, her fears.
Okay.
And I was kind of just on the phone with her talking and just trying to calm her down a little bit, letting her know as long as everyone's being safe, everyone's taking the necessary precautions, that we should all be okay.
It should be all right. Mr. Mack, are we still hiring during the pandemic? Well, how's it been in your role as the senior HR manager? And that's not just for Delaware, that's for Pennsylvania. So he's the senior HR manager for our company, for between Pennsylvania and Delaware. How has it been, I guess, really making people follow the rules and hiring and recruiting and all of that kind of a thing during the pandemic?
So it has been very challenging.
Okay.
One thing, we had to shift our focus a bit to where the candidates had concerns about coming into our office, not necessarily knowing what they're walking into. And we had concerns about candidates coming to the office as well, because these are individuals we don't know, we're not familiar with. So what we had to do is try to use a more virtual approach, where we have been doing phone screens, using more of the phone, and also doing Zoom interviews.
Okay.
So we have, whether it's me or someone in different offices. Also, in this pandemic, there has been individuals that have been laid off, the partners that we usually use as a resource for giving us candidates, whether it's been Department of Labor or career team. Some of those individuals have been laid off. So what we have been doing is trying to utilize our current workforce, whether they're active or inactive, trying to get them working, get them more hours. And also we've upped our employee referral program to offer referral bonus $75 to any employee, whether they're office or a caregiver, that refers us a actual candidate.
And that candidate has to be with us. And here's where I put my CEO hat on. The candidate has to, the referred candidate has to complete at least 30 days without incident before the referring employee gets the bonus. I know a lot of people are watching. And so when you talk about virtual interviews and that kind of thing, we still are running background checks, and there's still protocol in both Pennsylvania and Delaware, right?
Oh, yes. We follow the rules set by the state, because we have two different companies, of course, operate 2 different states.
Right.
So each state has different mandates, of course.
Right.
And Delaware has been a little lenient in what the prerequisites are.
During the pandemic.
During the pandemic only. But we make sure we reiterate, of course, we're in a pandemic, but this information will be required. We just don't know at this time when we're going to need this additional compliance.
All right. And so I really thank you guys for coming and sharing your experience, and that kind of thing. Is there anything you would like to tell either the clients and caregivers or anything you would like to tell potential people that might be considering working for a home care agency? I'll start with you, Gerald. What would you tell a potential candidate?
So I would tell a potential candidate that we are still hiring, of course.
Okay.
I think what separates us is we do care about our clients as well as our employees. Evidence about what are we doing today. We're having a craft feast today amongst the office here. We've had some positive feedback from using our social media, which is actually helping us get the word out of Always Best Care. And the partners that we partner with, the different buildings and social services, have actually sent us clients. So I think that separates us. And of course, we're 24 hours, 7 days a week. So you call us, whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning, we will answer the phone and try to address that issue.
John, what would you say to anybody out there and from a client or caregiver perspective, from a safety perspective?
I would just say that safety is our top priority. We're making sure all of our caregivers are going into the homes fully equipped, mask, gloves. We're making sure they're checking their temperature regularly, as well as documenting said temperatures. Because we value both the safety of our clients and our caregivers, so we want to make sure that both sides are equally protected.
And so I'm glad you brought that up. Do we have PPE here?
We sure do.
All you have to do is just come on in and get the PPE. And actually, if you're an employee, we do provide masks, gloves, thermometers, sanitizer, and the like. Thank you, John Higgins and Gerald.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate it. All right, stay tuned. We're going to round up our show. We're going to talk to the agency director, Dee Williams, as well as our community outreach coordinator, Jason Bowser. Stay tuned.
Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is an approved Community Health Choices provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services, doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. My name is Brian Green, and today's show is sponsored by Always Best Care Senior Services. I want to remind our viewers that I am on the radio. You can check me out on Saturdays at 4 p.m. on WURDradio.com or 96.1 FM or 900 AM, 4 p.m. on Saturday Eastern Standard Time. So, as we wind down the show, say the best for last. We are talking now to back office staff leadership at our Wilmington office of Always Best Care. Shout out to my Delawareans. And we're down here showing Wilmington, Northern Delaware, all of our love. I want to also shout out to Milton. We'll be coming down to our Milton office later on this week. I'm sitting here now with Jason Bowser, who is our community outreach coordinator, and Dee Williams, who is our agency director for Wilmington. And they, between the two of them, have just, become the vertebrae of this office. And I really just want to ask you guys, and I'll start with Jason, because I know you've been kind of abbreviated in your role. Normally, you're going out in the community and participating in all community events. But during the pandemic, I think that your role has shifted a little bit. So can you just explain, how has it been doing community service or community outreach?
Yeah.
Or go ahead.
Yeah. So it's been a big adjustment. Definitely, we've been trying to kind of personalize the the intake process for new clients and everything to kind of meet them where they are without keeping social distance and all that. So trying to do a lot by phone, try to do a lot of drop-offs, kind of things like that. But also trying to get the information that we need for the office staff to kind of be able to perform their role and be able to get the best person for them and everything. So it's just been kind of being creative on that front and creative on getting the word out about us as well. So kind of working with the newsletter, working with different ways to
I know you do a lot of stuff with the not-for-profits. Shout out to the Alzheimer's Association. I know you're a part of that.
Yeah.
But I know that you've probably been participating in a lot of Zoom calls and a lot of virtual.
Many, yes. Definitely, yes.
That's because I think for a lot of people, whether you're for-profit or not-for-profit, Zoom or Google Docs or whatever you use from a virtual standpoint has become our new normal, and so you see the outreach out there. We're in the summertime now. Summer has just started for us, and I know that it's really challenging. Thank you for mentioning that. Jason is the person that goes out and he does sign up what we call starter cares for new clients. And at times he will talk to people that have feedback or want to, get an advocate for increased time and that kind of a deal. But for the most part, you've been stationed here.
Yeah.
And you might see Jason driving our wrapped car around town.
That's true.
That's what he does. D, you are the agency director. You run the show. You have your hands in everything from customer service, strategic management, to some degree, financing, budgeting, community outreach. You sit on a couple of not-for-profit committees. You are pretty much doing it. And so what have you seen? What has life as the director, the agency director of the Wilmington office been like during this pandemic?
Well, definitely this has been a new concept for us. This is still new for everybody, but I think that we have been able to sort of keep the level of service very consistent for the clients.
Okay.
It has been challenging just making sure that the clients are aware that we're concerned about their safety, as well as back office staff, as well as our caregivers going into homes that may be new to them, or just continuing the service that we have been providing before. So it has been challenging, but I think that, when you work as a team, and leadership being a part of, how do we develop the new strategies for this new norm that's taking place, to continue to provide good service and be consistent at what we do, and then keep safety top of the list.
How have, and I'm gonna put you on the spot, how have you, in your own way, continued to motivate and engage the staff?
Constantly just showing them that I'm a part and I'm here with them. That whatever it is that we need support in doing, whether it's making phone calls, whether it's being here to meet the caregivers when they come in, to see that I'm an integral part, that I'm just not the director sitting here removed from them, but really getting involved and letting them know that we're here, we're supporting them, we're encouraging them, whatever it is that they need, and seeing me visible.
Right.
So I think that, when people know that you're a part of that process, it makes them more comfortable about going out, because I'm not going to put you in a situation that I wouldn't be involved in as well.
Wow.
And providing, the PPE and making sure, like, hey, do you have enough? Does your client have what they need so that you can continue to do your job? So I think just being really involved, communicating, and just being present.
Now, I pulled you off of the front lines today because today we're having our crab feast. So we're having a crab feast for caregivers to honor our frontline heroes. And so I'm always now you're the agency director down here, so you see the people more than I do. And so I'm shaking hands and hugging folks. I probably shouldn't be. But, the hugs are welcomed. But I have seen them, the way that they have really attached themselves to you and your team has, as the leader of the company, has really made me feel good, because people, D, John, Jason, how you doing? Thank you. It's not just a situation. So for that, I'm thankful. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to move out. We've talked about the crab feast, but I haven't shown it to you. So I'm going to take Dean and Jason and the rest of the team, and we're going to close the show out by showing you the actual goings on of the crab feast. Stay tuned. Don't go away.
Did you know?
Always Best Care is a great place to work.
Flexibility.
Leadership. Purpose.
Great benefits.
There's never a dull moment.
Diversity. Inclusion. Compasión.
We love our jobs. If you're looking for a great place to work, you can join our compassionate Team Green. You can apply online at teamgreenabc.com or call 267-909-9248.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. As we round down this episode, it's only appropriate that we are in a position to highlight and really, really love up on one of our caregivers that has been selected by the team to receive a gift card and for all the good things she does. She is somebody that is smart, articulate, caring, and she not only brings a problem, she brings a solution or a recommendation. I'm going to let Dee Williams present her with our gift card, and then she's going to pick from the table for the prizes. So go ahead, Dee. You got anything else you want to say?
Yes. So, Susan, I just want to tell you that we appreciate so much of what you do every day. You are always available to us. I know John and Ina can speak highly that you are sensitive, you're compassionate, and you're always looking for solutions for your clients. And so on behalf of the Wilmington team, we thank you for your dedication, your time, your effort, your love, and your support. And we're just ecstatic to have you be a part of our team. All right.
And this is a unanimous vote from the team.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So,
oh my goodness.
yay! Go.
Thank you.
You have a few words?
I just want to say thank you. I appreciate being a part of Always Best Care. It's one of the first times that I really have worked with a company that truly values what they're doing, as well as their clients and their employees. They listen to us. I appreciate my team in Delaware. Yay! Which is part of the big green team, which I'm very happy to have met Mr. Green, and really he's truly how he comes across when I've seen him in other postings and things. So I'm very proud to know that that's the truth. And so with that said, I just hope and see further big green, green things happening. Yeah, and I hope to be a part of it.
Susan Samuel. So now, okay, make way. As we end our show on the Did You Know show, you get to pick a prize. Which prize do you want to pick? Because you were one of our raffle winners. You were honestly one of our raffle winners. That was just the raffle was a coincidence, but we got raffles out here. Which would you like to pick?
Well, and it's not for me, but my daughter just got her first new place. I want to take the TV.
All right, go ahead.
If I may. Thank you.
Right on.
She's going to be so surprised. I'm going to take her right to her now because she's actually working this afternoon, and I'm going to surprise her. I'm going to take it to work.
Right on.
Thank you so much. Oh, you guys.
All right, so this is how we wound it up. We're down here in Team Green, Delaware, Delawareans, Northside. Stay tuned. Check us out. Check me out, Brian Green, on the Did You Know show on wordradio.com, or you can check this TV show out on a location. Check your local listings. All right. The show has been sponsored by Always Best Care Senior Services. We provide in-home care by some really phenomenal people, and we're open 24/7. The agency that never sleeps. You have the phenomenal office staff, and you have one of our great caregivers. Thank you, and we'll see you next episode.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys, that was so sweet. It's so unexpected. And thank you for helping me be able to surprise my daughter. She's gonna flip.
Right on.
I'm so excited.
Did you know he'll help you understand? Did you know always a right-hand man? Did you know he's gonna make it clear? Did you know? Come on, listen here. Did you know?
Always Best Care is a great place to work.
Flexibility.
Leadership. Purpose.
Great benefits.
There's never a dull moment.
Diversity.
Inclusion.
Compasión.
We love our jobs.
If you're looking for a great place to work, you can join our compassionate Team Green. You can apply online at teamgreenabc.com or call 267-909-9248.
Teamwork makes the dream work.